Tomorrow is another flight. It's not really going to be a first class one. It's exactly the opposite. Tomorrow I'm
taking a budget airline flight to Japan. The airline I'm flying today is called Hong Kong Express. They are a budget airline, 100% operating Airbus A320 family aircraft, and is fully owned by also Hong Kong-based airline Cathay Pacific.
Hong Kong Express was founded in 2004, with its first flight taking place in September the following year. Initially operating as a traditional passenger airline, it underwent a transformation into a low-cost carrier in 2013. Hong Kong Airport is pretty awesome, with massive windows that offer stunning views of the tarmac. I'm pretty sure that the McDonald's there has the most amazing views in the world. The airport is quite big. They have 90 gates across 2 terminals, and my flight today was leaving from literally the very last gate in the midfield concourse, so I needed an underground train to get to it. Just outside gate 219 there is a viewing platform with a killer view of the runway. It's the perfect spot to watch planes take off and land while you wait for boarding. My ride today this afternoon to Tokyo was this 7-year-old Airbus A321. She was delivered brand new to Hong Kong Express in November 2016.
Thank you so much.
The seats are in a standard 3-3 configuration in this red and grey or purple and grey colour. My home for the next 4.5 hours, seat 2A. The most delightful few words to hear on an economy flight, especially on a budget airline when the seats next to you are empty, are still
boarding complete.
Boarding finished quick. The flight was only around 70% full. Then it was time to push back and a quick taxi to the runway. Today's route took me across the southeastern corner of mainland China before crossing the East China Sea, finally landing in Tokyo after a flight time of 3 hours and 59 minutes. The seats are pretty basic, with not much padding, but they are comfy enough. Every seat has a tray table, and the legroom is consistent throughout the cabin, except for the first and emergency rows, which offer extra space. You've got plenty of knee and legroom, and while the recline isn't much, it's still nice to have. Each seat also has an individual air vent, but there are no power outlets. Since Hong Kong Express is a budget airline, there is no free food or drinks, but they do have a menu with hot and cold options, plus snacks and drinks. You can even buy train tickets, SIM cards and some gifts on board. If you order food online, you'll have a wider selection. My choice today was the Hong Kong style beef brisket curry with rice. The meal, along with a bottle of water, came to £6.50, or around $8.15 US, and it actually looked pretty similar to the picture in the menu. They served my meal about 20 minutes after takeoff, and it was actually surprisingly good. The washrooms were tiny, but they were clean, tidy, and well stocked throughout the flight. They could definitely use a bit of a refresh though. There were a few cracks in the mirror and some rust around the tap, but overall they were passable. I had the whole row to myself, so I stretched out and got cozy for the rest of the flight on my makeshift sofa. The crew kept passing by with the cart, so I added another tag to my collection. Now the one from the Boeing factory in Seattle has some company. The sun started to go down below the horizon towards the west as we neared the land of the rising sun, and it got completely dark by the time we arrived to Tokyo's Narita Airport. paid £170 or $210 for this flight. This was for what they call a Fun Flex ticket, which gave me a full-size carry-on, priority boarding, the option to change as many times as I wanted if I needed. The price also included the seat as well as the meal. I never in my life seen an international airport this empty, other than of course during the COVID-19 lockdowns, and it was not even that late. We landed just before 6:30 in the evening. I walked at least 10 minutes before meeting the first person in the immigration hall. I'm not complaining, I was just a bit surprised. I loved that I was out of the building in less than 15 minutes of getting off the plane. I quickly got on a bus towards Tokyo Central Station. Buses run all day in every 15 minutes, and the journey took around an hour. What surprised me the most was the price. I paid £7 or around $9 for the trip.
Welcome to Tokyo. I just had the weirdest experience. At the airport I went into one of those bus kiosk thingies and asked for a ticket to Tokyo Station. And she said that yeah, she's very happy to do that. However, if I buy from her it will be 3,100 Japanese yen. But if I buy from next door, from another company for exactly the same bus, then it will just cost 1/3, 1,100 and something. I was like, okay, so I went there. So anyway, welcome to Tokyo. I got to the hotel. I'm staying here in Japan for a couple of days. I will be doing another adventure tomorrow, and I will be exploring Tokyo the day after tomorrow. So let's jump ahead and see you in a couple of days. Very good morning from the city, which is home to just roughly about 37 million people if we take the whole Tokyo metro area. There's so many things to do and so much to see, but there's just one thing I would like to show you today. I've seen it in so many films and I always wanted to come and see it.
Shibuya Crossing, the world's busiest pedestrian intersection, featured in many movies and TV shows. At its peak, 3,000 people flood the crossing every 2 minutes, and on the busiest days, the daily count can soar to 500,000. Given its heavy traffic and amount of advertising, it is compared to Times Square in New York and Piccadilly Circus in London. It is also home to the statue of Hachiko, the Japanese Akita dog who waited over 9 years for the return of his owner following his death. I spent the rest of the day in Tokyo. It is a brilliant city and I can easily spend a week exploring it, but it was time to catch the train and head back to the Central.
I am back at Central Station. I am saying goodbye to Tokyo for now. This is where the next adventure starts, because this time I'm taking a Shinkansen